This is a 1980 something Porsche 944. It's been sitting, as you can see, and it does run. I haven't got it running yet, but before I do that, the clutch isn't working. Hit the pedal, went straight to the floor, kind of sprang back a little bit, but there's nothing there. And so we're going to bleed the clutch. Ideally, you'd want to go under the car, open the bleeder, and just let some fluid run out, or you could bleed it properly with another friend, but I don't have another friend because I'm lonely. So we're just going to do it the way I like to do it. Basically, all you need is one of these vacuum pumps from Harbor Freight, one of the handheld ones. They're pretty cheap. And then a peanut butter jar lid, one with a rubber in it, so it makes a nice seal. And then also just a brass nipple that I screwed in there and super glued on there. So inside the car, you can see the clutch pedal is straight to the floor. Ugh. Pull it out. Yeah, oh, now it's rock solid. Great. It only got a little bit now, but still nothing. So we're gonna bleed that real quick. So first thing I'm gonna do is fill this thing up all the way. Oop. Well, that's a little too much. Alright, so anyways, that might be an issue. Let me go get a rag. Alright. I don't have too much in there because then it'll just obviously just suck up the brake fluid, which is not what we want to do. We just want to have a vacuum in there. There we go. That's better. So basically, I just want to put a little brake fluid up here to make a good seal. Stick this on here. It's going to pump, and you actually see bubbles come out of here more than likely. Hopefully, if it works. Getting a good seal on there. There we go. Yep, you can see bubbles flying out of there. See, it's building a little bit of vacuum. You see the air. Oh, whoops. Let me take this out. Might help. Oh, that's definitely going to help. Yeah, take this little thing out if you're doing this on a 944. Oh, I should have not dumped. I'm dumb. Oh well, here we go. For real this time. There we go. Alright, well, I'm sucking up fluid again. Alright, I'm going to go inside, feel if we have a clutch pedal at all. See how the clutch pedal looks. Feels better. Before it would just stay there, or maybe it would come out, but we're definitely getting there. Let's see what happened up here. Door barely shuts. Yep, so you can see there, it's full of fluid. So as you can see right here, that's where the bubbles are coming out of the line down to the clutch. And they're still coming out, so I'm just gonna keep going until it's done. Just take a look and you'll be able to see the bubbles coming out. Still got air coming out, so I'm just going to keep going until there's no air coming out. So the reason this works is, if you think about it, you know, the air doesn't want to come out of the bleeder at the bottom. It wants to come up here. It's more natural. If there's low pressure up here, the air's just going to make its way through the fluid up to the low pressure area and come out. Because that air in the line, in the fluid, is still the regular atmospheric pressure, so it wants to be where that area of low pressure is, up here in the reservoir. I think I might actually be bleeding the brakes right now too, coincidentally. I've used this method to bleed brakes, multiple clutches, works just about every time, so it'll suck the air out of the whole system eventually. Brakes take a lot longer than the clutch because there's obviously a lot more line and places for air to get caught, but for clutches it definitely is the way to go. Gonna hit the clutch pedal a couple times. Well, the clutch feels good, but I'm gonna have to get creative with how I'm gonna test it, because this thing does not run. No fuel. And this fuel pump here on the passenger seat, I think, is a good hint as to why it does not run. Don't have time for that today, but I think I have an idea of something we could do here. Okay, so to see if the clutch works, I pulled it up on this ramp very haphazardly. It's in first gear, holding it up on the ramp. So theoretically, when I put the clutch in, if it was bled properly, it'll let it out, you know, let it out again and leave it in gear, but it'll push the clutch in, disconnect it from the engine, and I'll be able to roll backwards. That's really the only way I can test this without the engine running, so here we go. Alright, let's see. Perfect. Good enough for me. So there you have it. That's the easiest way to bleed a clutch from the top without even having to go underneath. Now, if you just redid your slave cylinder and master cylinder, you definitely are going to want to crack the bleeder on the bottom and let as much fluid run through as you can before you do this. But those two things combined, you'll have no problem. This little contraption's got me out of a lot of situations like this, so it's the way to go, especially when your car's on gravel like this. So stay tuned. One of the videos will probably get this thing running. This thing's getting an LS swap eventually, but we still want to get this engine running and make sure the transmission's good and everything before we pop an LS in here. So thanks for watching.